Hello, and welcome to a grab and go opportunity put on by me, Christine, the teen librarian at the Jones Creek branch of the East Baton Rouge Parish Library System. Today we will be making glue-resist fabric paintings inspired by batik. Batik is a traditional fabric from Indonesia made by putting down lines of wax in complex patterns on fabric. But today, instead of making a UNESCO World Heritage Culture product, we will be using glue, cotton fabric, a pencil, some pre-printed templates, or maybe not, paint, and a paintbrush. You may also wish to have some paper towels available for laying under your work so it doesn't get stuck or paint it down to your work surface. Let's begin. First, you will need to choose or draft your pattern. I've provided about 4 different patterns inside the kit I've given to you, 3 of which are taken from traditional batiks, and 1 of which I pulled because I think it looks cool. You can design your own. It can be as simple or complex as you like, within the limits of Elmer's glue. I'm going to use this one with the circles that make more circles that make sort of square shapes. I think it's neat than the rest. And next, on the back, I'm going to use my pencil and cover the entire back of the design with pencil lead. Technically graphite, yes, I know. All right, now that was the first step of making this into a transfer so that you can transfer the image from your paper onto your fabric accurately. I will now place my image onto my fabric. Looks like my fabric is bigger than my image, so I'll have to do some repeats. I'll put it up in the corner, and now I'm going to trace on this side of the fabric, and the sharp point of my pencil will transfer the lead on the other side onto the fabric. At least enough for me to see it and follow it with glue. All right. Now if I hold it up closer to the camera, can you see the faint little sort of flower, round, square shapes? Those are what I will follow with the glue. This is straight Elmer's school glue. I'm going to open up the bit at the top until the glue comes out. Now, my way of doing this is squeezing out the glue and then sort of dragging the line that comes behind it to get as thin a line, but as complete a line as I can. This is how I hope to get a nice design in the end. You want to keep the point of your glue bottle connected to the fabric because you're not dripping the glue onto the fabric. You're letting the fabric almost pull it out of the bottle as you drag the glue tip across. It's also smart to not start sort of in the middle, but at the left-hand edge, if you're right-handed, the edge of the hand you are not dominant with, or else, like me right now, you will run into certain challenging angles of application. You could, of course, turn the fabric. That is always an option and often a solution. At this point, application is just a matter of precision and patience. All right, I have glued the entire surface, and you may have noticed I did not put anything underneath this. I may end up regretting that. We'll find out. I'm also going to try and do something like the checkerboard pattern in the middle of this, but I don't have good enough control of the glue to do a checkerboard. It would just all smush together into a blob. So I'm just going to do some little cute dots. Now, the plan is to let the glue dry overnight. And then tomorrow we'll move on to our next step, the painting and dyeing. Again, in traditional Indonesian batik, this would have been done with wax, and we would do multiple layers of wax and multiple layers of dye in between each wax to get multicolors, one laid on top of the other through dye baths. But we will be using acrylic paint, but not until the glue has dried. So I'm going to take this up from my surface, and I'm going to lay it somewhere so that it doesn't stick down to something I can't peel it away from. All right, here's one I made earlier. It's a different size, but the same pattern. Here are my paints. I put them all in one lid. Here is my paintbrush. I'm going to paint in all of the circles in a line the same color. This last line, I'm actually mixing two different blues together to get my fourth blue. Alright, it's done. Let's let it dry. When your paint is finished drying, it will be quite punchy. We will take this and a large bowl or sink full of hot water, put it in, and let it soak. The glue makes it feel slimy. And look, it's dry. And you can see where the glue used to be, and now we have the white background of the fabric on top of the blues and greens of the fabric paint. Anyway, I am going to trim this down and then glue the edges under. Yes, more glue. Like a nice finished edge piece that I can then put up to decorate. Alright, here is my finished batik piece with the edges all neatly folded and glued back. You can see the little dots I made in the center with the glue, and also the sort of flower circle motifs that are the larger design. I absolutely love this and think it's super cool. In your own, you could even, as I have in some of the corners here, like this, not follow the lines of your design in how you lay down your paint. That could be done in completely different ways so that you're not coloring inside the lines so much as coloring over the design in your own design. You could even paint the entire fabric and then do the glue and then do another layer of paint on top of that before you wash off the glue to give an even more interesting design. There are a lot of different ways you could go about this. I hope you have enjoyed what you do end up making, though. Thank you for your time. If you end up making something and would like to post it on social media, do tag us in your results. Anyway, I hope you've had a great time with this resist technique using glue, and we'll see you at the library.